All right. So we're gonna try to do an atomic swap live. Like the goal that I want to achieve today is I want to make sure that I get the idea across to everyone, and also for every viewer to understand how atomic swap works on DeFiChain. And to do it yourself on a command line, it's a lot of work, but I will try to show that to you and explain every step of the way. It might fail, it might, because like blockchain takes time, and we have to also depend on Bitcoin blockchain to mine blocks as well. Let's see. It's a really slow thing, but let's try to work it out. Hopefully we won't. I would like to cut off, let's say, about like 20 minutes in, and then we move over to Fusing so they can cover more exciting stuff, and then we'll try to, maybe we'll see it at the end, maybe try to get back again to see how it's done. But let's see, because if it drags too long, it just might get pretty boring. Okay, so over here, I've set up a wallet here with some Bitcoin. Okay, one thing that I want to point out is, let me just load up. Let's bring up a browser. Okay. Sorry. Let's go to another one. Sorry, one moment. Okay. So, so you can see that my wallet here has a Bitcoin. This is a native Bitcoin. So the team has built a wallet. If you want to try that out, it's actually there, but it's kind of disabled. So if you go to releases, if you want to try it, you can download the alpha version, and it has SPV. SPV is basically simple payment verification. Yes, yeah. That means Bitcoin.
Okay, let's call it Bitcoin.
Yeah, it is Bitcoin. Yeah. It was there, and it kind of taken out for a bit because on Windows previously there was some like issue where the node would stall at the end, whatever. But just for your info, this is on Windows and it is running fine. I've been running it throughout like 2 days now. It's running fine. So you can try it out on 2.6.2 alpha if you want to try out. Yeah. Make sure you back up though, because you don't want to lose your Bitcoin, and definitely don't want to lose your DFI as well. Yeah, so make sure you do enough backup. It is running fine. So this is on Windows. I mean, I'm running a Mac. This is a remote desktop, so it's on Windows. So I have some DFI, some BTC, and I have 0.1 DBTC. I'll try to do a swap. Let's say I get more like 0.01 DBTC here, and then I'm gonna like sell my Bitcoin 0.01 Bitcoin over to get more DBTC here. So before we start, let me just explain a bit on how atomic swap works. I mean, we've covered the technical previously on some other tech talks, but I'm just gonna a quick refresher and also talk a bit more on the technical details. So the process is basically we have maker and taker. So it's an order book. It's an order book based swap, right? You need two active parties to do a swap. It's not like a DEX where you can put liquidity and you walk away and you can facilitate an automated swap. So for atomic swap, it needs both active parties. So both maker and taker need to be online to facilitate the swap. If not, it will time out and you get your money back. So yeah. So the process. So I hope everyone understands the difference between maker and taker. So maker means you put an order on an order book and then you wait for someone to take it. So taker, you take something from the order book. So on a traditional exchange, that's how it works. So maker, the process will be maker to make an order to say how much you wanna sell and how much what's the price for that. And taker will then browse the order book and take a certain order. So a maker can make a huge order and a taker can take a partial of that order. It doesn't have to take the whole. So someone can make there's $1 million worth of exchange, and you don't have to take the whole thing because otherwise that guy will be waiting forever for someone to take it. So the taker can take a partial offer. And in this case, the taker actually has to make an offer on that order. So what this does is okay, so Ian's question on does the wallet back up Bitcoin SPV as well? Yes, the wallet that does back up Bitcoin SPV as well. Okay, so the taker has to make an offer to an order. So this is the reason why this is done, is because if an order is such a good price and you get a ton of offers, the maker can then decide what offer to accept. Or if there's like offer that's over the order amount, then the maker can also decide what offer to accept. And the other key design decisions that is done so is also to ensure that the maker is still there online to facilitate the transfer. So if you make an offer, the maker doesn't accept it, walks away, or whatever. I mean, if you have an app, the app should do that automatically as long as you keep the app running. I'm using that analogy because if you make an order and then you shut down your app or whatever, someone make an offer it doesn't accept, then it should expire. You get to refund the offer. So so the maker will now accept the offer. All of this will be done automatically on the app itself. So when I say the process here, it doesn't really mean that you have to do it your own, but on the blockchain side, it does look like there's someone doing it. So the app could do it in the background for you. So the maker will then accept the offer and then sends the site of the exchange. So maker will then start first, and then taker will then send his side of the exchange, and then maker will then claim whatever the taker sends, and then taker claims whatever the maker initially sends. So that's how it all concludes. So it always starts with maker sends first, and then taker sends, and then maker claims whatever that the taker sends here, and then taker claims. So it's like you can see it's like a nested loop. I mean, it's a nested nested function.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fees for this. So because of some game theory exploit, we initially wanted to have some sort of like a block reward thing where we hope that we have a really rich order book where we can all just leave orders there and just like liquidity mine as well and gain some block reward. But there's some game theory exploit there, because if you leave your order there, and basically what you want to do is you want to eliminate all your competition. So what you would do is then eat up all your rest of competition's order to ensure that it's only you that's mining the reward, because it costs you nothing, because 1 Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin, so it doesn't cost you anything. So you just eat up everyone's order, and then so that completely destroys the whole purpose, because then it doesn't facilitate the transfer. It's just a war of everyone eating each other's order. Or if we reward based on the actual transaction made, that also isn't going to work out, because you can always trade with yourself to generate a ton of orders, so that also doesn't work out that well. So the game theory part of it dictates that as long as there's transaction being made, it has to the reward has to be less than the fee that both parties are paying. Because if it's more, then you will generate a ton of fake transactions to it, and then you just build up yourself, because you don't have to trade with anyone. You can always trade with yourself. It doesn't enrich the ecosystem. So the fees has to be higher than the rewards being generated. So the way that it works is will be that the taker will now so taker will have to pay a fee, and maker will then stand to make something, because maker is enriching an order book, so it's waiting for something, right? So taker is paying the 0.3% of the amount that's being transacted. So the way that it's calculated right now, because always with Bitcoin, so we will take the Bitcoin base. At the other side, it could be any token. So Bitcoin side is consistent. So it will be 0.3% of the Bitcoin transaction amount. So how do we get and also again, just like everything on DeFiChain, the fees must only be in DFI and not being something else. So we have to calculate what the fees are in terms of Bitcoin that's been transacted. So we take the amount in Bitcoin and based on the DEX on the price, and then we multiply, and then we get that's the fee that the taker has to pay. And the maker then makes we want to encourage maker to make a trade that is 1 Bitcoin for 1 BTC. So this also further enhances that the Bitcoin token that we have is worth 1 Bitcoin. Obviously, you can. I mean, they are free to make any other price they want, but we want to encourage that they make that price. So if they do that, then they receive 75% of the taker fee. Excuse me. Sorry.
Problem. Okay. Thanks for the explanation regarding the theory why we don't introduce the block rewards. It was really interesting for me because I also had a question why we are moving now to the new liquidity mining of the decentralized loans, and I think now it's a little bit more clear that maybe it could not work.
Yeah. So this way, like, it doesn't make sense for you to trade against yourself because you are losing 25% even if you do the parity trade. So you always want to wait for someone else to pay you. Yeah. So this eliminates both game theory edge case. And if you make an order that is non-Bitcoin related, like it involves, let's say, like a Tesla token or ETH or whatever, and you get 25% of taker fee. Or if you make a Bitcoin order but it's not priced at parity, it's not like 1-to-1. You let's say you price your DBTC higher or whatever, then you receive 25% of taker fee. So the remaining will then be burned, just like how the rest of DeFi functions on DeFiChain. All right, I hope this is clear. Then we're gonna go through very quickly the demo. Okay, so we have a Makerbot that's running. It's open source, anyone can run it. So what the Makerbot does is basically quite straightforward. It just so the Makerbot basically just puts up whatever Bitcoin that's on this address and on this address. This is testnet, and then it just creates the maker for 1-to-1 Bitcoin. So whatever Bitcoin token is on this address and whatever Bitcoin that's on this Bitcoin address, it just creates it on an order book, and that's kind of it. And then it facilitates the rest. So if someone makes an offer, it accepts it, and if someone makes a hash contract, whatever, they ensure that it's correct, and they claim and all that stuff. So it's automated. But it doesn't mean that you have to use that though, because the app, when it supports Atomic Swap, you can also make your own trade as well. You don't really have to run Makerbot. Makerbot is there just for us to have some sort of enrichment to the order book. So take note of this parity Makerbot address. We're gonna go to that. So we're gonna try to run through one case because it takes a long time to go through everything. So I have like 4 use cases here. So when you take an order, if the taker wants to go into DeFiChain, which means you're coming from Bitcoin, you want to go into DeFiChain, what would you do? And if you want to go out of DeFiChain into Bitcoin, and what would you do? And also on the maker side as well. So I'm just gonna go through one case and then probably just gonna talk through the rest. So let's try to do it live. Let's see if we can get this to work.
that looks pretty complex, Z-Zyn.
It is.
Is there gonna be a GUI at the end of the
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, the GUI thing, it's gonna be so straightforward. So you're just gonna go to like ICX or Atomic Swap or Bitcoin Bridge. I see that community started to come up with an name for that. I think Bitcoin Bridge is a pretty nice one. So yeah, you go there and you just say you can see an order book and you say I want to take this one. Click and then click yes, and then it just do all of that for you. The app, you don't have to do anything yourself anymore. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And if you wanna, you don't like any of the order book, you want to make an order yourself, you can just click a button to make it, and then you have to wait though if you make. So you just leave your app on and just try to facilitate that.
Okay, and that's gonna be included in the Lite wallet, right? At launch already, or is this gonna be like an upgrade on the Lite wallet then?
It will be an upgrade. Fuxing will talk a bit more on that. Great, yeah, he will also give some like future roadmap and stuff.
Okay, good. I don't want to jump the gun then. Okay, good. Let's do it the old-fashioned way first. Really.
Okay, yeah. Let's try. Yeah, it might take a while, but let's try. I don't want to dull everyone over here. Okay, so for the to prepare for this, we want to make sure that let's play the role of taker wants to get into DeFiChain, and in this case, you're trying to come into DeFiChain from Bitcoin. So you have to do a few prep, but you have to first download the wallet and then prepare okay, get a Bitcoin in because you want to transfer in, and you want to get some UTXO as well for the transaction fee for DeFiChain, and then some token. So the fee part is paid in token, and the transaction fee part is paid in UTXO. So yeah, so a bit of I'm sure the wallet will then the UI will then make sure that you have all of this in place. So because the wallet can also facilitate you to convert between UTXO and token as well, so you don't have to do all of that yourself. Okay, so so the first thing you want to do is you want to list order. So you want to, so in this case, I'm running the alpha version, so I have the Bitcoin, so I'm just gonna show you. So so we will run the ICS list order, ICS list order. So now you get to see all the orders that's on order book right now. So usually you'll get to see 3. So so you can see the amount. It's for a really small amount, and you don't have to take all of it. You can just take part of it. And the key thing that you want to notice is that that's internal and external. I'm not quite agree with the name, but at least I'm gonna explain a bit. So internal means Maker, it's going out of DeFiChain in this case. So Maker, so if you see internal, means the Maker is trying to get out of DeFiChain, and then if you see external, means Maker trying to get into DeFiChain. So in this case, we're playing the role of taker. We want to get into, so we want to trade with Maker that's going out. Right, so we want to trade with internal. So we look for internal. I think in this case we have 2, 1 and 2, and one of the order it's dead. I think it's run by one of the developers, and you just leave it there. So if you trade with one of the orders, you're just gonna make an offer and no one's gonna accept it. So you just leave you hanging there. So Atomic Swap needs both active parties. So so take note of the Makerbot address. So 8C. 8C. So 8C, this is Makerbot, this is Makerbot. So Makerbot will facilitate the other side of the trade for you. And this one is not Makerbot. So if you make an offer to this one, you're not gonna get any response. So you can see the price. So it's for 1 Bitcoin to 1 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to Bitcoin, and one's going out, one's going in. So in this case, you want to make an offer to, let's try to make an offer. So pick an internal one. So we'll pick this one. And I think the owner address because we want to trade with Makerbot. But when it's live and when the wallet supports it, I would recommend also trading with each other. We don't just want to trade with Makerbot. So that's the goal of Atomic. So we just want to trade one party. Right. Yeah. So so let's make an offer. So to make an offer, you would do a ICS make offer. So I'm gonna craft this externally. Just gonna copy it here. I'm gonna keep track of it here. So ICS make offer, and we'll take note of the order. Okay, this one, and let's put some amount here. Let's try to do a different one. 111. This is Bitcoin that we have. An owner address would be, in this case, we're trying to come in. So the owner address that we want to receive the DBTC. So we're just going to go to our wallet and then try to click an owner address here. And then it's going to paste that, which is already correct because I was trying it right just now. And receive part key. So for Bitcoin, because of hash number contract, it doesn't really support the regular address that we have over here. Or in this case, it's a segwit address. You need to convert it to a pub key. So this is a hash, pub key hash. So when you convert it to pub key, so the way that we convert, you can use the function over here. So it should be a bit complicated, but all these I will do all that for you. So you then copy the Bitcoin address. Let's use this one. Okay, I'm gonna paste it over to here. Okay, this is the pub key. It's not a private key. Even if someone sees it, it's fine. You can't take anything from it. So you copy that and then paste it over here, which is very correct. You're an expiry to, this is how long your offer will expire, and this is 240 blocks of DeFiChain. So that's about it's about 2 hours.
2 hours.
Mm. Yeah, let's do an hour. I think it should be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna paste this here, and oh wait. For the app, you need to remove the code, but if you use the command line on Linux, you have to include the code. Oh, I need to unlock my wallet.
What's the password?
Same problems I have.
Okay, yeah, so if you see an error like this, then it's usually wallet that's unlocked. So I'm gonna try it again. Okay, now it works. There's always this warning. Again, like Atomic Swap, it's really it's a feature that's okay if everything works out fine, but it's still quite experimental. And if you try to do it small amount, and it worked well if like both blockchains don't stall and you get to claim your coin on time and all that. If one of the chains starts to stall or whatever, then there's a risk where one side gets to claim and the other side doesn't get to claim, and then you will lose some fund there. So please really be careful and do some small amount initially, and once you build up over time, and we gain more confidence, then we can probably take out this warning. But for now, we want to make sure that know what you're doing and only use it for a small amount. Yeah. So the TX ID, this is the offer ID. So the next step will then, yeah. So you make an offer, now you get a TX ID. You can go to the Block Explorer to see that this is mine. Once this is mine, you want to check. You now want to check the other side to see if it if the Makerbot or the maker has accepted your offer. So in order for you to check that, you do have to poll it. So list HTLCs offer TX. I'm gonna copy this transaction. Okay, you don't quote. I'm gonna copy this just in case later on we need it. Okay, oops, in there. Okay, obviously we need to wait for a block to be mined. So let's see. So I'm gonna try to paste this here and see. Okay, we don't get any response yet, so it's not yet accepted. We need to wait for a block to be mined. So right now it's like 581. So let's see. Wait for a bit. So you probably need to wait 2 blocks, because you need to wait 1 block for the Makerbot to see it, and then the Makerbot will then submit to accept, and then you will need to wait another block for you to accept it. So it takes time. Atomic Swap takes time. While we wait, I think let's go through the whole process, because I think the goal is we want to get everyone to understand. Let's see if this increased, then we try to check again. Yeah, so we check for status, and once we get the status, we will then get a response. Okay, you can also go to this link as well. So Bella has prepared something on the discussion page. We can kind of see that. It has some more context over here, so there's some response. This is prepared from the point of view of Makerbot, but you can kind of ignore that and go straight into the process. Yeah, it's more of a how do you set up a Makerbot kind of thing. And yeah, so you want to check if the maker accepted the offer. Let's see, still 81. So the block hasn't increased yet. Yeah, so once you see it's accepted, you're going to see something like this, and then you get to see how much the maker accepted it for, and yeah, if it's open, then it's all good. You want to ensure that it's all like the amount it's what you put in, and or less than what you put in, because the maker can accept the offer that's less than you initially offered. Take note of all these features. So the maker will propose that, okay, if you lock in your Bitcoin now, this is the refund. Okay, this is how much time that you need to lock in your Bitcoin for, and yeah, and then you can. It still hasn't See, sometimes it takes time. We don't have a block for quite a bit now. Yeah, so once you get the offer, then you need to then wait, sorry, I'm just confused there for a bit. So Maker accept offer and send. So in this case, Maker has already sent the asset. So you're trying to come in. So the Maker, when they accept the offer, the Maker would have locked in the DBTC. So you can see it over here that it's already locked in. And now, as a taker, you want to now lock in your Bitcoin into a Bitcoin into a Bitcoin HCLC contract. So now you can use the function called SPV create HCLC to create that smart contract on Bitcoin blockchain. So everything that's on SPV is on a Bitcoin blockchain. It's not on DeFiChain. So you then create a HCLC, and it takes 4 parameters. The first one is the receipt pub key, which is the if you look at the offer, you're gonna see that. I'm gonna go back to ours again. Don't have it over here. Should have copied the earlier one. We won't need all of this thing later on. I'm just gonna make a copy. Okay, so when you look at the order, you can see that the Maker wants to then receive the Bitcoin at this public key. This is the Bitcoin public key, and they will pay up from this DFI address over here. So when you create an HCLC, you want to make sure that the recipient is this one. It's not a Bitcoin address because the Bitcoin address is actually a hash of the public key. And HCLC doesn't support that, so it requires where did it go? Okay, yep. So you then create HCLC contract. You enter the Maker receipt packet. Obviously, the UI again will do all this for you, right? Yeah, and taker, and this is for a refund. So if you put in a hash number contract and the Maker doesn't claim it, you want to get your Bitcoin back, right? So you want to have a refund address as well. So this one, the first one, you're gonna copy your own address, also using a pub key and not the Bitcoin address. You enter it to this, and then the timeout should be the timeout in this case is on the Bitcoin blockchain. There's a minimum that the consensus enforce. I need to check if it's still 24. And the output will be the hash. So when the Maker, remember Maker always locked in the first coin. So in this case, Maker has created the password, and then hash that password and pass it over back to you. So now you as a taker, you want to lock in your Bitcoin with the same password. I mean, you don't know the password, but you know the hash of it. So you're going to create a hash number contract on Bitcoin with it. And for this, you don't really have to mine anything. So I'm going to do an example here. So I'm just going to copy this one because we don't really have to mine anything. Then we can really just showcase it quickly. Let's see if it's okay. There's some blocking quiz. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's accepted. So yeah. That's a blocking quiz. Yeah. So the offer has been accepted by the Maker, and so yeah, accepted for the amount they put in 0.00111, and let's try to do the next step. Okay, so the status is all good. Now we want to lock in the Bitcoin to SPV. So now we want to create a hash number contract. So let's do that. So I'm going to copy this one. Okay, hash number contract. The first one is sorry. I get back here again. So the first parameter is the Maker's receive pub keys. So Maker receive pub key is this one. Okay, and then the second one would be our refund address, which would be from which would be there you go here. Yeah. It should be from here. So copy it. I believe this is already correct. Just gonna execute again. Yeah, it is correct. Yeah, and then 24, and then the password, the hash. So the hash in this case is this one. Notice that there's no amount yet. So you want to create the contract first. So now I'm going to create a GLC contract. And on Bitcoin blockchain, unlike on Ethereum or EVM blockchain, you don't have to mine when you create a smart contract. Custody string. Yep. So the result of that is this. I'm gonna copy. See, it's pretty dry. Hope everyone is still awake. So we now get the address to send a Bitcoin to, and this is a redeeming script. So if you want to redeem, then we need to use this script. So on Bitcoin blockchain, when you create a smart contract, you don't have to mine it. It's basically just an address. So it's you reveal the smart contract code when you redeem it. Yeah, so the address. So now the next thing that we do is now we're gonna fund the SPV. We're gonna fund the hash number contract, not SPV, hash number contract.
I just want to interrupt. Somebody said we don't need a user interface using. XNew says we're gonna send all these atomic swap requests to you. You're a specialist. You're allowed to doing that most likely
Sure.
manually.
Sure, I'll take 20% of that. I'm happy to do it. 20%. Okay, let's fund it. Yeah, in this case, actually, we can also use the send function. Let's just fund it over here. Gonna copy this address. So 0.00111. So this is gonna send over there. It's just a regular send. Address 0.00111. I hope that's correct. Am I correct? Yeah. Wait, it's 0.00111, right? You see again, sorry. Yep, that's correct. So yeah, lost.
I don't want to show this comment. That's so mean.
What?
Somebody said 2 o'clock in Australia. You put my newborn son to sleep using. Thank you.
Okay. This is right. Like I already won. I think I already won. I think this is not fully integrated correctly. So we unfortunately need to use command line for this. So let's just do that. I think I'm gonna stop it sometime around. I'm just gonna try to send, and then I'll claim it back later. But we'll show it quick over here. I don't think we can go through everything because then we need to wait for the Bitcoin blockchain to mine again.
Is there amongst these many steps, right? If there's just one step wrong, do you see it immediately, or do you find out at the end, like the big surprise?
No, a lot of things you would see immediately because if you enter some things wrong, then it will not work. Yeah, but in this case, we're just sending a Bitcoin over to this address. Then in this case, nothing will show up. So it will just work even if you send it across, as long as it's a valid Bitcoin address. So yeah, so it's sent. So if you see this one on the Bitcoin Explorer, you will see that it's a send. I'm just gonna paste in the chat in case someone wants to see it. Yeah. I'm just gonna go through the process.
Time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go through the process right now, and then we'll try to end it, and then we'll go to the next exciting part. That's why the Fusing is doing later, because he has more exciting stuff, and that will keep your kids awake again.
I think you lost me in the last step.
It's already here. It's unconfirmed. So yeah, again, now we need to wait for Bitcoin to mine, right? But it's already there, so you can kind of see that it's sent to an address. You don't see a smart contract unlike Ethereum. It's just a regular address. Only when you redeem that you need to reveal the smart contract. Okay, let's just continue again. So on the Bitcoin side, once you fund, the DeFi chain doesn't know that it's funded on Bitcoin side. we need to inform that this is funded. So we then need to submit that this is funded. So we use ICX submit. We tell the DeFiChain a hash number contract that Bitcoin side is funded. You can't really cheat this because you need to pass in all the parameters that's involved, and then the maker side will also ensure that it's properly funded. So the way that Bitcoin works is that if the recipient address is different, or if the timeout is different, or whatever, the resulting address will be different, because this is actually the hash of the script, the hash of the smart contract. So if anything changes, the maker will then build on his side, and then, oh, it's a different address, then it doesn't see the fund. So once this is, assuming that this is all good and we've informed, I don't want to do this and work, because a lot of copy and paste is really slow. And we now need to check that okay, so let's go back again. So now that we funded our Bitcoin, we need to wait for the maker side to claim our Bitcoin first, because we don't know the password. We need to wait for the maker to reveal the password so that we can claim our DBTC. So we now need to keep querying for this address to see if the maker has already claimed it, therefore revealing the password. So you will do get HCLC seed and then the address over here. So the app will do all that for you. And then once you get the password, you will now claim your DBTC, and that's the end of it. Yeah, easy, right?
Yeah, actually quite simple. Yusin, who came up with this concept? Is this something that was out there, or did you develop this? Is this like your creation?
No, I mean, Atomic Swap has been out there for many years. It's not a new concept. What we do, what we can integrate that's pretty new, I think, because the fact that we are a Bitcoin fork, and we can do a lot of things even better than other like Ethereum blockchain can do it, because we the way that we do hash number contract as well is pretty similar on DeFiChain side. And we have an order book that's built in on the DeFiChain side, so we don't have to have a separate app that deals with order book. And then once the order book is set, it's matched, then you need to inform like the other party. So the combination of order book and the settlement, it's done automatically on DeFiChain on many steps that can be done automatically. But on the Bitcoin side, we still need the client to do it on the side, because we can't automate that on the blockchain consensus. In short, right? So you can see the steps, like 7 steps over here. It's actually a pretty short step compared to other like Atomic Swap, because the things that can be done on the DeFiChain side is already done automatically. Like if the maker accepts your offer, you're already locked in the DBTC. So the maker doesn't have to do another step to lock in the token, because it's automatically done. It's only on the Bitcoin side that the DeFiChain can't enforce it on a consensus. Then they will require the client to do that, and then inform the DeFiChain side that it is done, and then the maker to ensure that it's done correctly.
Get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So the reverse, I don't think I want to go through everything, but I'm just gonna.
No.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are now overloaded.
Yep.
Yeah, at least me. Okay.
So I'm just gonna do a quick last one. So if anything, like for Atomic Swap, things could go wrong. Like the other party doesn't respond, or if you lock in the hash block to a wrong address for some reason, you can always get your money back. So this is sent out, but it was for 24 Bitcoin blocks. So you wait for 24 Bitcoin blocks, which is about 6 hours, and then you can claim it back to your address. So you can call it on a DeFiChain node, you can call it SPV refund HCLC. You will get your Bitcoin back. Yeah, basically that's it. And on Maker side, again, just want to reiterate the concept that Maker pays first, and Maker is also the one that generates the password, and Maker gets paid out of this whole thing, either for 25% or 75% of the taker fee if it's for a parity trade.
Okay. We've got a question here, Yusin, for you. Maybe you can take this one quickly. Yusin, can you then compare the Atomic Swap functionality with the SEX?
With a sex.
With the sex centralized exchange.
That's
I mean,
the
it's
first time I
pretty
heard it
sexy,
pronounced that way.
but
I mean, the title of this talk already explains it, right? You guys already teased it, right? You don't need KYC for atomic swap. So if you do that, if you have a good UI, you can just do it automatically. The only downside is it takes a bit more time to do atomic swap. Yeah, obviously you don't have to copy and paste all this thing on your own. The UI you just have to click that I like this price, how much I want to trade, and the app will do all of that for you. But I mean, it does take time. But again, even if you deposit and withdraw from CEX or centralized exchange, it takes time as well. You need to wait for confirmation to happen, and the withdrawal will take time to happen. So all of that takes time overall. So atomic swap takes quite a bit of time, but if you look to the whole process of depositing and withdrawing from CEX, it's also the same thing.
okay, get it.
Right?
Cool. Thanks, Z-Zyn. All this information is available on GitHub.
So this
Yeah, I will
document?
share this one. I'll post a link. I'll upload it somewhere, and I'll post a link, and you can.
Okay.
I'll post a link in the description, and then you can update it in the
Awesome.
description.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Good.
Hey, Yuzi, does this typing in a command line takes you back to the golden days of Bitcoin? When there's all there is. There wasn't GUI in 2012. There wasn't GUI back then.
No, I think even in 2009, there was already a GUI. There was already a GUI. It's a Qt GUI. That's pretty basic, but there's already a GUI. I think it started even with the GUI pretty early on.
Yeah, but it's a similar GUI as so you have to key in all of this address yourself. There isn't like an exchange for you to manage. So it's like really
True.
the
Yeah.
golden times. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So transitioning, I guess this is really what I do is like taking the complexity from the crypto and trying to make it into easy for everyone to understand. So the transitioning
Perfect.
is like
We need it.
You see all the like 7 steps. I have to understand them, take it from a user's perspective, and like how do I make it such that anybody can use it?
So that was the setup. This is kind of the justification for your job here. So Z-Zyn had to make it really complex, and you come in and save the world, so to say, right?
Exactly.
Okay, happy that you're here,
understand every
Fushin.
single
Otherwise,
step.
we need you. I see that absolutely. Cool. So that's atomic swap. Then we're gonna
Easy.
jump to easy. Yeah. Are you satisfied, DC? You were waiting for that.
Yeah, I need a weekend to do it.
Cool. Good. Now, I think it's good to see even this is not really something what we're gonna do every day, I guess, and we're really gonna wait for the GUI. But it's good to see how complex this is in the background, and maybe people really appreciate what Fushing and everybody else is doing in putting this in a user interface where it's done with a click.